Thank you. The Honourable Member for Kamfinsa.
Madam Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity to make a few comments, and I'm happy that you've given us a few minutes, Madam Speaker, to comment on the proposed estimates. The Minister of Finance has come to this August House asking for our authority today to proceed with approving a supplementary budget. Madam Speaker, I've got two concerns which I hope that the Minister of Finance will take note of. My first observation, Honourable Minister of Finance, through Madam Speaker, I was trying to calculate the numbers, how this 11.5 billion is going to be financed. Madam Speaker, my calculations are showing that 23% of the budget will be financed by the World Bank. I've looked at how many lines require World Bank support. There are 4 lines, Madam Speaker. On page 5, we are going to get 81 million kwacha for research. That is on page 15. On page 19, Madam Speaker, under the Ministry of Finance, on page 19, we are going to get 8.5 million kwacha from the World Bank. On page 22, for social cash transfer, Madam Speaker, we are going to get 1.5 billion kwacha from the World Bank. On page 33, Madam Speaker, for infrastructure under Ministry of Education, we are going to get 1.1 billion kwacha from the World Bank. Madam Speaker, when you add these figures as a proportion of the total budget, 23.5% of our budget, which the Minister is asking us to approve today, is coming from the World Bank. Now, Madam Speaker, here is my concern. Any gift that comes to the Republic of Zambia from these partners, for many years, we've always appreciated. But the concern, Madam Speaker, is that for how long are we going to finance our agenda for development through partners? For how long, Madam Speaker, are we going to wait for a World Bank funded project to support activities that require us to undertake development for ourselves as a country? When the Minister of Finance read out his first national budget, an incentive was given to our mining companies. We lost colossal sums of money, Madam Speaker, in excess of 4.3 billion kwacha by making mineral royalty tax deductible. And Madam Speaker, sitting here today, confirming that we are begging for 2.5 billion from the World Bank. Yes, it's a good thing that these activities will be financed. But Madam Speaker, a country that aspires to start dealing with its own problems must start asking itself, are we going to continue asking for money from cooperating partners, Madam Speaker, when we can actually raise some of this money locally? We lose 4.3 billion on the understanding that this money will come back in other forms, that suddenly the mining companies will invest so much money and will be able to recover through taxes. That is the anticipation. Madam Speaker, here we are today. 2.5 billion kwacha, a very small amount of money. Did not even need World Bank support. All we needed to do was to say, we have these taxes, mining companies owe us this much, can you give us our money? We finance our budget, and we're able to place on record having financed our own agenda. Madam Speaker, I share this view because I'm looking at the future of our country. Yes, it's good to get financial support, whether it's KfW, the German bank, whether it's the World Bank supporting our projects, but at some point, Madam Speaker, we must start raising our own money. And the point I'm raising, Madam Speaker, is that when we give incentives to mining companies, someone should hold them accountable. That we've given you incentives, we are foregoing 4.3 billion kwacha. Can you show the benefits to the country? Because if the country is able to benefit, Madam Speaker, then we'll be able to raise our own money. The point I'm raising, Madam Speaker, is that collectively we must start asking ourselves, when do we start raising our own money? At some point it must happen. At some point, Madam Speaker, it must happen. That point must be clarified. And I hope that the Minister of Finance, whose desire is to see mining grow, hence the incentives, must also bear in mind that someone must hold these mining companies to account. We give you these incentives, you must be able to show that this is the money that is coming out of mining, and this is how ZRA is going to benefit. In the absence, Madam Speaker, of this balancing act, because it's not the first time we are giving incentives to our mining investors, these incentives will continue. But the point, Madam Speaker, is that at what stage do we hold the mining companies accountable for revenue that is supposed to go into ZRA, so that Minister of Finance, when he comes to Parliament, is able to tell us we need 11.5 billion, and this 11.5 billion, we have not asked for anyone to give us this money. What we've simply done is we've gone to ZRA, and ZRA has given us the money. So, Madam Speaker, it's a challenge to the Minister of Finance. As we support your request for this supplementary budget, I want to put it on record, Madam Speaker, that I want this country to begin at some point to be able to raise its resources locally, so that when we say we want to do a school, it is indeed us who have said and not someone who has dictated to us. Madam Speaker, my submission on behalf of the people of Kamfinsa constituency. I thank you.